Hey, welcome to Embracing Expansion, and today's segment is spirituality. Tea. Maybe I should get a mug, I don't know. Spirituality mug. I'm gonna look into that. That's a great idea. But anyway, my name is Vanessa, and if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching and welcome. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment. Your feedback is always appreciated, although I haven't been getting much feedback on YouTube. People meet me and say stuff, but not actually commenting on the stuff that I talk about. But that's cool too. As long as it's getting out there, as long as we're growing together, helping each other grow. So today on spirituality, I actually wanted to take a moment to talk about something that I've been experiencing lately. I am still trying to, I guess, not understand it, but accept it more. So the old version of me, or the older version of me, because I don't think I'm completely a different person. The older version of me was one who was really big on explaining and trying to help people to understand, and if I had a disagreement or something didn't sit right with me, I would take the time to understand more often than not. So it was either that or I just block you or cut you out. Now, and I would do so intending never to speak, or with ill emotions, like whether I was angry or sad or upset or just disappointed. But I would be like, my reason for feeling that way, honestly, was like, I never want to feel that way again, and I didn't deserve to be made to feel that way, right? Two things on what I just said. I chose to feel that way, right? And never feeling that way is something that I have power over, because I chose to feel that way. It sounds really mean sometimes to say that to people, but when someone tells me, like, you made me really mad, I don't say it to be mean, but I would say, no, you chose to feel that emotion based on my actions. I didn't make you feel mad, or I didn't make you feel disappointed or sad or upset at me or whatever, So this is something that I am finding myself less bothered by, I should say, less affected by. So I'm learning, I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I have come to understand, I've been reading it long enough, I've been observing it long enough, that people choose their feelings, and therefore I have a right to choose mine. So I've been trying more to choose feelings that serve me better, feelings that keep me in my happy place, not choosing to be mad because of someone else's actions or words or decisions which I have no control over, And it's scary. It is scary for me, guys, and I'll tell you why. Because I feel like I'm becoming, I don't know if cold is the right word. Maybe I'm not becoming cold, but I still think of how it might come across to other people, and I feel like it might come across like I don't care, but it is actually my new way of caring. So I am now, someone says, I don't ever want to talk to you again, and I'm like, no problem. I like to give examples up in here. So an example, this guy did something that I didn't like. A friend of mine, well, not a friend, a colleague of mine, we're not friends, a colleague of mine, or acquaintance, someone that's in the same area of work as I am, and I felt like we're cordial enough that I should feel comfortable to express my displeasure with what happened, right? And so I did that. I said, hey, this wasn't right, and we're supposed to be working, I basically said it wasn't right and I wasn't happy, and I elaborated on how I think it could have been better and where I think the person went wrong, right? Now, I'm gonna pause here for a second before I proceed with the rest of it. When I come to a person and say, hey, you did this and I didn't like that, I like to say, I always say that in advance to people. If I come to you and make you aware of something you did that affected me, obviously I'm wanting clarity, or there's a part of me that's just sharing my opinion. That's always my perspective. I'm always hoping that I'm wrong, but it's either that, and I'm always hoping to make you aware, so that if that if it was your intention, that you realize that it affects people negatively, and that may affect, you know, your big picture, or how you want things to be with the people you interact with, right? So I made that person aware of the situation, of what happened and how it made me feel, and their response was basically like very defensive, and almost, if I were not a mentally healthy person, I would honestly think that I was crazy, like none of it happened. Has someone ever said to you, my words are interested today. Has someone ever said to you, do you hear yourself? What are you thinking? Does that even make sense to you? These phrases, from my experience, usually come from narcissistic people. People who do not appreciate the courage it takes for another person to express their feelings, you know? It takes courage for you to say, hey, you hurt me, because we deal with so many possible other underlying assumptions or feelings that we may feel in expressing ourselves. Like, you may be embarrassed to say how you feel. You may feel like the person doesn't care. You may feel like you're bothering the person. So when a person finally decides, hey, I'm going to tell you how I feel, and that's basically how I've lived since I was a child. I was always the one who says the things that no one said, or I was even considered rude because of that, you know, because I would share my opinion, not aggressively or anything, but I'll just say the thing that no one was willing to say, that I was observing, because that's something that my mother told me. She always says, always speak your mind, and that's how I took it. That's how I still take it to this day. Of course, tactfully so. So anyway, he says those things to me. He says, do you hear how you sound? Do you even hear the things you say before you start? And I'm like, why? My reaction was, I was really shocked, and I was like, if this is all you're gathering from what I just said to you, then okay, obviously you're not getting it. And the next line was, don't ever speak to me again, for lack of, just to avoid what he said. He actually said, you know, before I say something, you're lucky that I know you like this, and I would have answered you, you know. He's being nice to me in his response. It could have gone worse. So I'm like, and he's like, basically, I never want to talk to you again. So I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever is best for you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I did that, and I felt that, I think, was, I mean, it's been happening a lot lately, but that to me was just like, I was shocked, pleasantly surprised at myself. I mean, that's usually how I am, but I was consciously that way, you know? You know when you're doing something and you're aware of why, but now I was actually, because of what I've been learning, I'm now aware of why. I'm telling you all the best. I'm still wishing you well. I'm still telling you take care, you know? Getting to that point where you can just allow someone to do what's best for them is great. And for me, it's like, I know who I am, and I'm okay. I love who I am and accept who I am. And so I came to you with good intention to resolve an issue. We have to sometimes go through it to get through it. You can't go around it and expect to get through it and be out of it, you know, feeling good about the outcome, or understanding yourself, or expanding a little bit through your experience, you know? So I went ahead and I shared my feelings, and they were basically dismissed and disregarded, and I just moved on, because guess what? I didn't take it as I'm the problem. I didn't take it. This had nothing to do with me, his reaction. And that's what we have to understand in order to be so loving towards each other. Like, don't take it personally, man. People are somebody might just curse at you, whether you're in traffic, whether you're somewhere, and just swear at you. That's how you have to protect your energy. That's how you protect your energy, just by knowing and understanding that people are going to be who they are. And it's not because of you, because it's so obvious to us sometimes, but we disregard it if we're not aware. Like, someone could come to speak to you, and in a harsh way. I'm not saying that I'm perfect in that regard, but this is just something I noticed in that situation, where it could have gotten totally the opposite way. Could have gotten insultive, could have gotten whatever. I didn't feel a need to become defensive. I no longer really feel a need to be defensive overall. I'm just like, when you understand that people are really seeing life or viewing life through their own eyes, based on their conditioning, their experiences, their idea, their assumptions, You learn not to take people personally. And it doesn't mean that you know, you don't care. It just means that, hey, we're at two different places right now. We have two different opinions on this right now. It's not me saying that I'm better than you, but where I am mentally is not willing to get into an argument. And you're trying to do that, and that doesn't make me feel good, okay? This argument is not making me feel good because I didn't come from a place of anger or an attitude where being condescending or whatever. I'm making you aware of how I feel because I care about our relationship, because I thought we had an understanding about our relationship that we could talk to each other. Guys, listen, Finesse loves to give people, I feel like I give everyone a rule book or an introduction or what to expect of me. I think that if people did that more in friendships, relationships, whatever, relationship would be so much more healthier, and we would be more open to communicating and not being assumptive or dismissive or offended when someone brings their feelings their to our attention. Anyway, we're still going to be around each other, and I'm still not going to be affected. And why won't I be affected? Because my intentions were good. If you go through life with good intentions towards everybody, man, and when you do that, I'm not saying you won't be sad if something isn't reciprocated or understood, but you have to reassure yourself. We're human beings. We're going to feel things. The point of it, or the motivation should be not to stay there. Of course, you're going to get sad. Even if I have a different understanding of things like death or whatever, I still get sad when I'm not physically able to see or feel someone, you know. But I reassure myself or remind myself, hey, you know what this is. You know that. You know we're more than that. You know we're eternal beings. So it's like you go through life with good intentions towards everybody. And how you do that is by understanding that people are only being based on what they know. We didn't come into the world knowing everything, right? So some of us have taken the time to learn, to evaluate ourselves, to evaluate our surroundings, to make the necessary changes to improve on ourselves and our surroundings, but others haven't, and we have to be graceful. We have to be understanding of that, okay? So today for spirituality, what I want to encourage you to do is to, in your relationships, I feel like we need to be more selfish. So that's the I think the easier perspective to grasp, rather than, because it's easier to think of yourself than other people naturally, and selfishness isn't a bad thing, contrary to what we've been taught. Contrary, that's a hard word, sorry. Anyway, so be selfish in that I'm gonna do what feels good to me always. I don't want to feel bad. And I don't think that any healthy functioning person, whether it's emotionally or mentally, is going to feel good knowing that I hurt that person. Be selfish in protecting your peace, keeping yourself in that good feeling place. When someone lashes out at you, especially when you approach them with good intentions and calmly and lovingly, we don't have to teach them. Sometimes we feel like, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to yell at you back and show you that I could get louder or show you that I could be more insulted. Why? Why are you feeding into that negative energy? Why aren't you just walking away? When you walk away, it's more effective. Sometimes silence is the most effective thing you can give. The most effective retaliation or answer. Silence is very loud. In fact, I don't even think there's something called silence, because even when everything's down, you're still hearing so much. I don't think silence exists. But sometimes you have to just be like, no, you're not going to change my good mood. You're not going to take me to that place. I'm in control of me, and I'm choosing to answer you out of love, or to just give you as you wish. If you say you don't want to speak to me, I have to respect that. It's your right. I can't force you to speak to me. So guess what? And the thing about me, though, that I'm realizing is when people have made these decisions, man, I don't feel sad. I don't feel like I've lost anything. And again, I guess it's because I've adopted the mindset of always winning. I just feel like if you're leaving, it's because you're making way for me to receive a better person, or it's like you're clearing the clutter out of my life, or you're when something is gone, it's to make space for another thing. So it's about perspective. We have to learn to, and I'm just saying, sharing my experience with you. It doesn't mean that that has to be your idea or experience or opinion as well. But I'm just learning to make people happy in their decisions for themselves, to share them on. Because I do the same for me. I don't stay around people I'm not happy around. And if someone isn't happy around me, then they shouldn't stay around me. If someone isn't supportive of my way or how I think or my choices, and it bothers them so much that they think I don't want to talk to you anymore, why am I going to get upset? Because we're in a relationship, we will assumptively friends, or colleagues or whatever. And even if we aren't, I love everyone as I love myself, and I wouldn't want to be in any bad relationship or friendship or whatever kind of ship with anyone. So if I'm what's making someone feel that something isn't healthy, they can walk away too. There are 8 billion people on the face of this planet. Guys, my words are messed up today, but we shall proceed. There are 8 billion people on the face of this planet, and we're never going to meet every single one of them, but we are going to meet those that we are going to meet. We have to know that some are meant to pass through and some are meant to stay, and that's totally fine. Just continue pushing forward. Allow people to do their own thing, Don't assume. When we assume is when we get upset. When we assume the reasoning for someone's or what someone means, or, we just have to, if you don't understand, ask a question instead. What do you mean you don't want to talk to me? So you mean this friendship is done? Okay, I understand. Cool. Just always walk away with a smile. Always respond from a place of love, because loving your friend, your family member, your colleague, that is loving yourself, because we're all one. I will keep saying that. We're all one. Don't get mad when someone doesn't want to talk to you anymore. Respect it. Look forward to that new person you're about to meet, or just redirect your energy to something good. People literally are meant sometimes to stay in our lives for a season, and then we hold on to them, and that makes it, that just keeps driving the lesson in sometimes that we keep overlooking, and it tires you out. It tires you out. Sometimes you don't even need a lesson. You already see how the person is, but you give them a chance, and then you give them chances and chances and chances, and then it drains you. Learn to walk away, and walking away now, maybe in 25 years or whatever, maybe there was something you had to learn from that situation too. But choose what feels best to you, Walking away now doesn't mean we'll never speak again, unless you decide, I have had my experience, and I just don't want to, that's what I decided. I decided, hey, I've had my experience. I've been making these observations about this person for a while. I've seen them with other people, and I'm like, wow, this is not for me. I don't want to be treated that way ever. And then finally you're in receipt of the treatment, and so you're like, okay, well, for me, I was like, at least I didn't have to say I don't want to talk to somebody this time. At least you said it, and I agree, and so let's live it that way. So my piece is like, I wish you well, and I wish the person well, and I'm like, I always wish people well. I never want to see anyone that I no longer speak to in any bad situation. So I was like, okay, I wish you well, and take care, and just let's keep up with just being, we're no longer colleagues, or we don't have any need to talk anymore. You've made yourself clear, and I've accepted it, and I would like to keep it that way. Whether or not you change your mind, this is my perspective. So do what's best for you. Follow your happiness, your peace. Wish people well. Don't ever block your blessings by wishing anyone. Your abundance has to keep flowing. We don't want to clog up that. We want to keep that flowing. So never block anyone's abundance, or your abundance, sorry, I try not to use the word blessings anymore, by the way. Try to keep your abundance flowing. Don't block it by wishing ill on anyone, or, just good energy, positive energy. That's what we want to encourage you today. Love everyone. Whether they're choosing to walk out of your life, or love everyone. Be from a place of love. Live from a place of love. Because at the end of the day, we really are here together, and everything you do, whether you realize it or not, it affects everyone. It's ripples, tiny ripples, maybe even invisible to the eye, or we may never actually see the effect of them immediately, but everything affects everything. Everything is everything. And we keep everything in balance by exercising love in all our actions. Okay? So this has been your spirituality for today, which is pretty much to just live in love. Live in love. Walk away with love. Respond in love. Accept in love. You know? Take care. Subscribe, like, share. Thanks for watching.